Let's start learning grammar. In this video, we will learn what is a noun clause, how to identify a noun clause in a sentence, role or function of a noun clause in a sentence, and we will take few examples of noun clauses for better understanding. Now, what is a noun clause? A noun clause is a group of words which contains a subject and a predicate of its own and does the work of a noun in that sentence. Now, in the previous video, we understood the difference between a phrase and a clause. Now, if we look at these two examples, in the first example, he believes in my innocence. Now, this underlined group of words is not a clause because it does not have subject and predicate. But if we look at the second example, he believes that I am innocent. Here, the underlined group of words has a subject I and a verb am, and thus it plays the role of a clause. So we can say that we can divide this into a subject and a predicate. Now, we need to understand whether it is a noun clause or not. So, let us try to understand and identify a noun clause in a sentence. First of all, our noun clause includes a subject and a verb. Secondly, they are dependent clauses and they function as a noun in a sentence. And thirdly, they begin with that, how, or WH word like what, who, when, where, etc. Now, let's understand the example which we took earlier. He believes that I am innocent. Do we have a subject and a verb in this sentence? So, I is the subject and am is the verb. Is it dependent clause? Yes, it is dependent on this half of the sentence. And thirdly, does it begin with any of these words? Yes, it begins with a conjunction that. So it fulfills all the three conditions. Now, we need to understand whether it is a noun clause or not. Does it function as noun in a sentence or not? Now, it is a very big question. How we will come to know whether it is functioning as a noun or not? So let me give you one easy solution for it. Try to replace the given group of words with an interrogative pronoun. Now, what are interrogative pronouns? Basically, we have 5 major interrogative pronouns. And what are they? They are what, which, who, whose, and whom. Now, if we are able to replace these group of words with any of these interrogative pronoun, it means this group of word is acting like a noun clause in a sentence. I hope it is very clear to you now how to identify a noun clause. Now let us understand the function of noun clause in a sentence. Like any noun, a noun clause can function as a subject, an object, or a complement. Now to understand subject, object, and complement, you can go to noun phrase video where I have discussed them in detail. Now let's take first example. Why she is crying is a mystery. Here, we are talking about the subject, and as this particular part of this sentence is working as a noun clause and it is the beginning of this sentence, so we can replace this group of word with what? What is a mystery? So the answer would come out as why she is crying, and that is why it is acting like a noun clause. But here it is in the beginning of a sentence, and that is why it is playing the role of a subject. Secondly, I will never forget when I met you. Here, this particular group of word, which is a noun clause, is acting like an object because before it we are using an action word, main verb, forget. And as we have discussed in the previous video, we always use an action word or a main verb before an object. So this is the difference between an object and a complement. And here this group of word is acting like a complement because we have helping verb and we do not have any main verb in this sentence. So I hope you have understood how that noun clause functions like a subject, an object and a complement. Now here are some examples where we can look at the group of words and identify whether they are noun clauses or not. If you will look at all these examples, all the green colored group of words have a subject and a predicate, and that is why they are clauses. Secondly, they act as noun in these sentences because they can be replaced by interrogative pronouns. And you can try that. For example, that I will come is true. What is true? So we can replace it. You know that I hate him. What do you know? The reason is that I love my child. What is the reason? It's clear that you don't know anything. What is clear? Whether she loves me is difficult to know. What is difficult to know? I don't know if your dog is here. What I do not know? The issue is whether he will come. What is the issue? We aren't sure if we understood. What we aren't sure of? Whatever you wish is my command. What is my command? I know where the treasure is. What do I know? So, all these green lettered words written in a group can be replaced by interrogative pronouns, and that is why they play the role of noun clause in these sentences. I hope you have understood how we can identify a noun clause in a given set of sentences. Keep learning.